Good evening, everyone. Notice is here.
Quiet night.
Notice is hereby given of the regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Town of Westfield in the County of Union, New Jersey at 7:30 p.m. on the evening of Tuesday, January 21st, 2020, in the boardroom of the Administration Building, 302 Elm Street, Westfield, New Jersey. The purpose of the meeting is to transact the regular business of the board and to transact any other business to come properly before the board. This is to advise the general public and to instruct that it be recorded in the minutes that in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, entitled the Open Public Meetings Act, the Westfield School Board on Thursday, January 16, 2020, caused to be posted at the office of the Board of Education located at 302 Elm Street, Westfield, New Jersey, and delivered to the Westfield Leader, the Star Ledger, the Westfield Library, Town Clerk of Westfield, Tap into Westfield, and Patch.com, a meeting notice setting forth the time, date, and location of this meeting. Dana, can we have a roll call?
Michael Beelan.
Yes.
Kent Diamond.
Yes.
Brendan Galligan.
Yes.
Robert Garrison.
Yes.
Brian Morrissey.
Yes.
Gretchen Oleg. Tara Porto.
Yes.
Peggy Astor.
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes, here.
I think I should have done here.
Yeah, I think it was. I did both at the end. Here.
I started a trend though.
And nobody else was paying attention. They just copied it.
I said as soon
When it
as I
came out of
said
my mouth,
It was short for yes, I'm here, right? Yeah.
Yes.
We got the point across.
Okay.
Would you join me in a flag salute?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Announcements. Rob, do you have any?
I have two. The Westfield High School Choir Department will perform a night of love songs on Saturday, February 8th at 7 p.m. under the direction of course directors John Brskowski, I still screwed that one up, and Maureen Francis. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. in the Westfield High School Cafeteria B. While having coffee and desserts, enjoy an evening of solo, duet, and group performances. Tickets will be sold at the door at $5 per student and $10 per adult. The event is sponsored by the Westfield Choral Parents Association, with proceeds going toward choral performance opportunities for the students. And then also, I was approved to okay one other notice of an email I received today. The JCC of Central New Jersey will be hosting a Not Your Typical Special Needs Resource Fair at the JCC Sunday, February 2nd from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. You can go on their website at jccnj.org for more information.
Great, thank you. Tara?
The Westfield High School Model United Nations Club won the Outstanding Delegation Award. The annual conference of the YMCA Model UN program held in Hershey, Pennsylvania earlier this month. Westfield's delegation of 175 students were among approximately 2,000 students from the Mid-Atlantic region who attended the conference. They participated in wide-ranging debates that were the culmination of months of research and preparation. A number of our Westfield High School students received individual recognitions as well. Congratulations to all of the delegates and to their advisors, Daniel Faribault and David Delaferra.
Michael?
This is a reminder that the Westfield Public School District is conducting kindergarten and first grade registration this month. The registration schedule and forms are posted on the district website at www.westfieldnjk12.org under the student registration section. Thank you for your help in spreading the word.
Thank you. Brendan?
Yes. Don't miss the Edison Speaker Series presentation of Screenagers Next Chapter, Uncovering Skills for Stress and Resilience, this Thursday, January 23rd, from 7 to 9 p.m. in the EIS auditorium. Discussion and question and answer will follow the screening. Register to attend at eisscreenagersnextchapter.eventbrite.com.
Thank you. Ryan?
Congratulations to Westfield High School senior Luke Hurley, who won his fourth consecutive Union County Tournament wrestling title on January the 11th. Luke currently is ranked fourth in the state by NJ.com in the 126-pound weight class.
Okay. Tonight, the Westfield Municipal Alliance and the Westfield High School Dream Team are recognizing student finalists in the 7th Annual Westfield Municipal Alliance Palooza Contest for the submissions of posters, poetry, and public service announcements depicting the theme, Westfield, we have better things to do, Healthy Choices, Everyday Choices. The Alliance sponsors the Dream Team, a student club that encourages healthy choices and provides drug and alcohol-free social events to the school community. And another, Jefferson Schools Team Legorio received a second place award in the Strategy and Innovation category at last month's state championship of the first Lego League robotics competition. Team members Luke Jenner, Nev Nuongandi, Mahi Pangwani, Aaron Rugnett, Evan Tukashinsky, and Wilson Wright competed against 80 teams in the North New Jersey region. The Strategy and Innovation Award was based on the team's unique attachments to achieve various missions, including a spring-loaded attachment and a forklift feature. The first LEGO League is a robotics competition that has students ages 9 through 14 designing, building, programming, and testing an autonomous robot while applying real-world math and science concepts. Congratulations to the team and to their volunteer parent advisors.
Thank you, and congratulations to you. That was quite
Yeah. I know.
This is a reminder that the Parent Teacher Council, the PTC, will hold its monthly general meeting tomorrow, January 22nd, at 10:15 a.m. here in the board meeting room at 302 Elm Street. These meetings of the PTC, the umbrella organization for all 10 of the Westfield School PTOs, provide a good opportunity to hear from and ask questions of Dr. Dolan and Board Representative Gretchen Oleg.
Thank you. Dr. Lund, you have any announcements?
I do not.
I just want to announce that our next meeting of the Westfield Board of Education will be held on Tuesday, February 4th at 302 Elm Street, beginning at 7:30 p.m. The complete agenda will be available on Friday, January 31st on the board section of the district website. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to recognize the public for agenda items only. Seeing nobody come forth to the podium, I would like the board to approve the minutes of the board meeting held on January 7th, 2020, and the private minutes of January 7th, 2020. All in favor? Second? Brendan? All in favor?
Aye.
Any?
I wasn't here, so.
Tara abstains. Okay. I'd like the board to consider personnel items 1 through 21. Do I have a second?
Second.
Rob? Dr. Dolan, I think that you would.
Yes, actually, tonight I'm announcing with regret the retirement of 3 staff members who have given a total of more than 61 years of service to Westfield students. Carol Haseman has been a special education teacher at Westfield High School for the past 15 years. She is an accomplished educator who is highly qualified in English, math, social studies, and science, which makes her an excellent resource for her students. One of Carol's greatest sources of happiness has been her work in the Bridge program at the high school, where she differentiates the learning for each of the students in the program. Together with her students, they set ambitious goals, and her students learn to take responsibility for their work. And they are filled with pride as they accomplish essay writing and persuasive talks. Carol is a dedicated and valued teacher who will be missed. It is hard to speak about the next 2 retirees without referencing them together. Lori Shaughnessy Levinson, who came to Westfield 27 years ago, and Karen Cavalin have been first grade teachers together at Franklin School since Karen was hired 19 years ago. Together they became excited about the Teachers College Readers and Writers Workshop approach to literacy. They took the courses together and put tremendous effort into creating successful, independent early learners in their classrooms. In both classrooms, there is a culture of respect and kindness where first graders help one another. Their lessons are beautifully organized with a strong emphasis on the integrated design to learning. Lori was the initiator of the authors celebrations where first graders showcased their accomplishments for their parents. And Karen created a summer writing initiative where her students continue to expand their writing skills by writing to her during the summer, and she makes sure she quickly sends a return letter in the mail. So we'd like to wish Carol, Lori, and Karen well in their retirements.
Thank you. And as always, the board wishes them well also, and we hate to see any of our good teachers leave, but understand that they want to move on to another part of their life, so thank you. Any other questions about personnel? Dina?
Michael Beelan,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brenda Galligan,
Yes.
Rob Garrison,
Yes.
Brian Morrissey,
Yes.
Tara Porto,
Yes.
Peggy Oster,
Yes.
Amy Ruth.
Yes.
Michael, facilities.
There was no facilities meeting this past month. The next meeting is scheduled for February 7th.
Great. Long-range planning is Gretchen, and she's not here, but I know that we haven't had a long-range planning committee meeting yet this year, and I'm sure we look forward to updates from her next month. Policies, Brendan.
Yes, I ask the board to approve policy item number 1.
Second.
Thank you, Kent. This is to affirm the superintendent's decision in HIV incidents 20E05, 20E06, 20E07, 20E08, 20MC01, 20HS02 for the reasons set forth therein.
Mike Beelan,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Rob Garrison,
Yes.
Brian Morrissey,
Yes.
Tara Porto,
I abstain.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
And our policy meeting is next week, 7 o'clock here, with the new committee assignments.
Amy, curriculum.
Yep. I'd like the board to approve curriculum item number 1. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Brendan. Field trips, 4 district field trips as attached. I don't think anything out of the ordinary. Any questions? Nope. Shall we vote?
Mike Beelan,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Rob Garrison,
Yes.
Brian Morrissey,
Yes.
Tara Porto,
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes. And if I could just add that our next curriculum meeting is next Wednesday. It's a little out of sequence, just to make sure we can make it. So it's next Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. with our new committee assignments as well. And we'll be back to work.
Finance, Kent.
Finance, hi. I asked the board to consider items 1 through 6 in the finance notes. Do I have a second? Thank you, Tara. Anyone have any questions? It looks pretty straightforward here. If not, we'll go right to a vote.
Mike Beelan,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Rob Garrison,
Yes.
Brian Morrissey,
Yes.
Tara Porto,
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
We move on to technology. I know it's you, Rob. I don't know. I know you weren't able to make the meeting, but
Yeah, so I will ask Mike Beelan to give a report because the scheduled meeting was 3 days after our last meeting, so since they already had an agenda prepared, I said just do it. So Mike has a report.
Sure. We had the meeting on January 10th, and there were 2 topics of discussion. One, Brian Walker had given a presentation to the principals on cybersecurity. So during the meeting, Brian gave us a condensed version of that presentation. And I sent out the meeting notes to the technology committee. And essentially, we covered a lot of different topics. And so some of the things that we're doing, I'll just highlight, just for security within our district. We don't allow anyone besides district employees and students on our Wi-Fi network versus other districts which will have guest access. And these are just measures that are taken in place to just continually to protect our network and keep it as private as possible. Also, we limit what we put in the cloud. We don't have our primary servers in the cloud. We have them localized here. Also, we have a double backup procedure. So if, for example, we have a virus, we have multiple options to recover from that virus. Some of the things that we just mentioned in general, we do try to keep things, because we're talking about security of the systems here, we keep things relatively generic because we don't want to give indication of what we're doing and how we're protecting our systems. So, and then Brian was just giving an overview of some common terms that are used, such as we went through like botnets and phishing and smishing. For those, phishing you might have heard is where you have an email that it's trying to get information out of you, such as credit card or other personal information. Smishing is, if you know SMS messages that you get on your phone, like the SM, add phishing, and you get smishing, which are trying to do that through your cell phone to go and get that information. So you might get these texts, oh, I need you to help me. Can you send me, go buy some gift cards from me and text me the codes. So, don't fall for it.
was that smishing? I was smished?
You were smished. Yeah, Peggy was smished and it came to me. And
Came to me. I got
Didn't you
it.
actually get?
Click this link to update your FedEx delivery schedule.
You got hacked recently.
I've seen that one.
I got that one the other day.
And we just reviewed some emails that came into the district as far as scam emails. And just the instructors and the teachers, I should say, and the administrators are becoming much more vigilant in recognizing these types of issues to make sure that we limit the viruses and malware and other things entering from the district. And Brian said we've really seen a great increase in the awareness of the staff in recognizing these types of issues, which has been very good. Just a couple other quick things. Just to give you some idea, Brian pulled a random day. Anybody have any idea how many emails we receive in a day?
I was there, I can't answer.
Okay. And we receive, well, there's two different numbers and they're quite disparate. We receive about 71,000 emails in a day, but 31% of those messages, but really 31% are actual real messages.
Oh, wow.
And newsletter messages. The other ones are just advertisements, junk mail, and spam mail, and so those all get purged beforehand. And we went into security processes, and that's really it on that. And the other area we just reviewed is from Google Analytics. Last month, we had looked at the user counts on the website, and we just wanted to get some clarification on that 67,000 users that visited the website. It was actually 67,000 page views and 23,000 unique sessions. And a session is when someone opens a browser that they go and establish a session, and over a period of time, that session will expire. So a user could have multiple sessions within a day. And we talked about users in the district, students, when they open a browser, for example, within school, the default web page is the town website. So the recommendation was to just, when we're reporting out, that we go and exclude the Westfield traffic, so we're getting a clearer picture of what the resident engagement is. And that's a quick summary. Rob is taking over in February, and I believe the meeting is February 21st.
And also, at the suggestion of Peggy, it is, the committee's been reconstituted as technology and communication, so it's no longer just technology.
So we look forward to that committee, and, you know, I want to reiterate, I mean, I was fortunate to be at the technology committee, and we're very lucky to have Brian as the head of our technology committee. He's extremely experienced, competent. I can't think of, you know, more words to give him praises, but to understand the levels that are in place in this district to keep our data and our, you know, communications and internet safe is, you know, comforting, understanding that, you know, there's always somebody out there still trying to get in. But, you know, I do think that there are, you know, quite a few things that we have in our district that some other districts didn't have and don't have, and it was really a great presentation, I thought, that he had done.
Yeah, and you know, on that point, just to hit that home, I believe it was the township of Bloomfield, not the Bloomfield School District, along with 2 or 3 other districts and/or municipalities that were recently held, what do they call
Well,
that?
ransomware.
Mhm.
So Bloomfield had to pay, and a couple others had to pay that, but I'm not saying it's been in the press, so it is to
Mhm.
really stress that importance of making sure that we have someone on top of it. And no matter how many protocols you have in place, there's always
Right.
people out there trying to undermine it all.
Before Christmas, Livingston Schools
Oh, that's right,
Yep.
Livingston,
and
that's who had it.
Hackensack Meridian Health had all their patient records locked out.
And I don't know if Brian started the presentation at technology the same way, but when he presented to the principals and supervisors, he had a live map, right?
Yeah, it was
Correct,
cool.
yes, he did show that.
Mhm.
It was sort of like war games where you saw the missiles going across the world and like, oh, look, and they're all, and what's interesting when Brian was showing it, was showing how most of the entries were coming out of France because of the legal system that they have in place. A lot of people can use that to relay traffic, so they might be in some third-party country, they're relaying it to France, so it looks like the traffic's coming from France, but they're in a totally different country.
And it was amazing how much traffic there was. you know,
Yes.
And as you said, things are relayed to France, et cetera, but from so many different places, and then it was just incessant. So, you know, even though I agree with you, Brian does a great job, he's got a great group of people working with him, and it is just constantly trying to learn, and what is the latest scheme that people are trying to put out there.
I just want to second Becky's comments. I'm in the technology field, and I deal with this every week. And Brian is definitely on top of things and doing a great job for representing our district and ensuring that our systems are as secure as possible. Because, like you said, Dr. Dolan, you can fix something one week, but the next week something new comes along, and you got to react to that. And then there was a recent Microsoft patch that had the correct issues that just appeared. And you know, when you're dealing with large environments, you have to react quickly, because once some hacker or some malicious intent is out there,
right.
they will go and jump on it and go and scan all the systems and look, who hasn't patched? Oh, you haven't patched? Well, we're going after you.
Yeah.
And then they go and put ransomware on, and that's their own little business on how they can go and then collect money from you, in a sense, illegally, so.
There was a period in time where Brian wanted us to forward him suspicious emails. Is that still the case?
I did when I got your email,
Mhm.
looking for the gift cards.
Sometimes, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
I would suggest yes,
Okay.
because he might be made aware of something that he's not made aware of.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm sure some days,
Sometimes it hits 1,000 people, sometimes it's going after one or two targeted
Yeah.
people, so.
exactly.
and by the time I make my phone call, he's like, yep, I already know about it.
And just as an aside, I mean, more of a general comment, just when you receive those emails, whether it be in your personal email or your board email, yes, you can forward them on to Brian, but it's important that if you mark those as spam, Google, for example, will learn who the senders are of those emails and prevent them from coming into your inbox in the future. So it has that intelligence to go and learn over time, so. But the problem is them doing it'll come out next week, but
But still, yeah.
you're learning over time.
Little humps.
And just before we move on, I think a lot of people mentioned that there are new heads of committees and so forth, and committees have changed. First, I'd like to thank everybody for a great year last year, and look forward to working with everybody in your committees this year and bringing ideas to the table, so I look forward to it. Okay, notes I'd like the board to consider the notes for the record. Consider?
Considered.
Do we have any unfinished business? Any new business? Any liaison reports? Rob?
Tomorrow is the, I guess monthly, I forget if it's monthly or quarterly, meeting of the Garden State Coalition of Schools, so I'll be attending that. Unfortunately, the Wilson PTO meeting for Thursday has been postponed, so that'll be probably the following quarter, or maybe at some point rescheduled for this quarter. And one thing, it's not quite under liaison reports, but I did attend a New Jersey School Boards Association seminar on school security. And, you know, in the future, and I mentioned this to Peggy the other day, and I think even Amy, I think it would be great if and I'll do this as well, if one of the board members is thinking about going, it might be good for maybe to let other board members know, just in case some folks want to maybe go down together, because this is probably the 5th or 6th one I've done this year or over the last 12 months. And oftentimes you see school districts that'll have 3, 4, 5 people together, and more often than not, it's usually just one of us maybe attending those seminars. So it'd be good to have strength in numbers and have folks down there together. So I'll do that next time as well.
Also, it sounds like you'll know where to park, right?
Yes.
I attended the Tamacos PTO meeting last week or a week and a half ago. They brought up the teacher, and they were appreciative. One or two especially acknowledged the increased police presence those couple of days.
I met with Phil at the library. I have my first
Okay.
library board meeting tomorrow. I don't really have any more news than that.
They're a good bunch.
Yeah.
Last Friday, I was down in Trenton for the school board's board of directors meeting. Mostly just regular business, paying bills, that kind of stuff. But they are rolling out their new website, starting with the user portal. So where you go to the convention, they keep track of all the courses you take, and there are certifications you can get if you reach certain numbers of credits. They're working on rolling all that out right now, so actually half their website's down today. But over the next week or so, it'll be fully updated. And that was in collaboration with Rutgers. Rutgers Cooperative Extension's taking over the continuing education requirements for us. So those mandatory trainings we have to do online, those are going to get updated for the first time in probably 20 years.
They're gonna change.
Yeah, they're going to update a little bit.
You don't have the little cartoons anymore.
And they're working on some interactive artificial intelligence based training sessions, starting with a negotiation simulator.
I went to the Westfield Green Team meeting last Wednesday. They have a very engaged group. There must be at least 20 people on the team. And then they broke out into different committees, and there's a committee specifically for the focusing on education in schools and what green initiatives we can bring into the schools to promote. And there's also getting involved with Earth Day. So I'm on that actual subcommittee, and we will see what comes out of it that we can bring to our district.
Great. That's good. I did see their video on Don't Leave Your Car Idling.
Mhm.
So,
And we did share that with all of the PTOs so that it could be sent, actually all the principals, so that it could be sent to all the parents.
great.
Speaking of idling, the car was stolen from a gas station today in
Today,
town
yeah.
because they left it idling. So, lots of reasons to not leave your car idling.
There's another good one, yeah.
With the keys in it.
Right, right. Tomorrow, actually, no, Thursday, I'll be going to the Franklin General PTO meeting on Thursday night. And so hopefully that's not why Wilson had to cancel theirs. There shouldn't be too much crossover. And last week, I sat in on a focus group. The library's going through sort of a strategic plan phase right now. And so I was able to be one of the focus group people for a little while last Thursday morning. And it was actually really kind of nice dovetailing, because we had one of our last SIP meetings before the holidays. We had the media specialists from the libraries at Edison and Roosevelt and the high school. So kind of talking about how our spaces are changing and how the public library wants to change their space. It was a good opportunity to sit in on that. But they have lots of ideas, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Great. Well, first, my first one is not really a liaison, but I wanted to applaud the MLK Society for their day of honoring Martin Luther King yesterday at the Presbyterian Church. Some of us were there in attendance, and they put together a lovely ceremony. I was in a church, I want to say service, but it wasn't a service. I don't know if it was
Interfaith service.
Interfaith service,
Yes,
yes, it was
yes.
very nice, and it was great to see that almost all of our schools were represented in the awards that the students gave, whether or not it be the intermediate schools or the elementary schools. So I think they did a great job, and the kids seemed to do great, and some of the poems and stories they wrote are amazing, that, you know, elementary school kids put these together and so forth. So it was a nice day. The other one is I am on the Rec Commission. So I went to, the Rec Commission had its first meeting of the 2020 year last Wednesday. And at that meeting, they made public their master plan for Parks and Recreation. And I think all of you should have gotten a copy forwarded to you by Dana. You will see in there that part of their plan is they're proposing to use some of the fields that are associated with our schools. So what I would like everybody to do is bring these back to your committees and discuss them on a committee level as to how it affects us. How does it affect us for finance? How does it affect us for our facilities? How does it affect us for policies? I'm not really sure curriculum comes into play, but I think that's the way that you know, we're structured for our procedures, is to bring this onto a committee level for the committees to discuss pros and cons in reference to what they have proposed. And I think that in the future, as I said, it's just sort of been a week and we really haven't met and so forth. If the town council adopts this master plan, at that time, maybe we can have their planner or somebody from the Recreation Committee come to the board and present their proposal as to what they would like to do with the couple of fields that they had noted here and so forth, so.
Peggy, if I may, I am one of those policy wonks. I read through it twice this weekend, and I have to say, I'm excited by the idea of the town and the school district working together to look at ways to engage more with the community, to look at whether it's underutilization or whatever term you want to use for resources we have and vice versa. So I'm glad through you, Peggy, that the other committees will be looking at this, because I think it's a nice way to try and figure out ways where we can work together and provide as much for the community as a whole, not just those who are students or those that are directly in the school district. So I look forward to it.
Right, and one of the things they pointed out was this planner said that for a community our size, with the number of activities, students using fields and so forth, they should have, and don't quote me for this, but it's either 8 or 9 fields that could be used by all the people in the community. And the town currently has ownership of 3. So, you know, he also, you know, brought to the table that it's not as if there's property that they really can use. You know, Westfield doesn't have a ton of extra property and so forth. But in like communities like Westfield with the same number of students, residents, and so forth, they should have many more fields to be using. So we look forward to working with them, going into the future,
Mm-hmm.
and, hopefully we can come up with a plan that betters the whole community.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of sharing resources where we can, as long as the deal's structured in a way that protects us and protects our interests going forward.
Right, and I think I said that to them. They put their plan together from the recreation side of things, and
Mhm.
we have to look at it in reference to the whole school board.
Yeah.
What is the vision for our schools? What is this vision for our properties and so forth? And, and that's how we can work together and come up with a plan and put it, put it to work. So. And if you have any questions, there wasn't a lot of information. I don't believe the rec committee is taped, so you can't see it on tape, but he did a very simple presentation. We didn't go through, I think there's 500 pages in this. He didn't go through all of it. He just gave us summations as to how they went around and evaluated property and, and so forth and came forth. But if you have any questions, you can feel free to give me a call. And if I don't know the answer, which is probable because I was not on the steering committee, we can get answers for the board members. Any other liaisons? Okay, I'd like to recognize the public for questions or comments. Seeing nobody come forth to the podium, I'd like the board to approve the following resolution. Resolve that the Board of Education move into private session for the purpose of discussing matters rendered confidential by state and federal law, negotiations and harassment, intimidation, and bullying incidents. And be it further resolved that any discussion held by the board which need not remain confidential, and the results of the discussion will be made public as soon as practicable. Do I have a second? Tara? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're adjourned, or we're in private session.
You staying here?
See?